So perhaps you're going on holiday and you've got a fear of flying. We're going to work on that with mind inverse subconscious state transfer so you can automate your mind so the emotions have less impact. When you're ready to do so, sit quietly and just visualize this. You're sitting quietly beside the aeroplane window and you continue to follow the journey unfolding beyond the aircraft around you. Dim cabin lighting reflects softly across folded tray tables, seat fabric, overhead compartments, plastic window panels, and sleeping passengers surround the aisles. Beyond the windows, thick clouds drift slowly beneath the aircraft while faint city lights glow far below through gaps in the darkness. Somewhere ahead, beyond the night sky, the destination continues to get closer. The faint smell of conditioned cabin air, fabric and recycled atmosphere settles through the aircraft. Soft cabin movements travel steadily through the aeroplane, while distant air currents move gently beyond the window outside. Just the unfamiliar atmosphere of a quiet night flight carrying everyone gradually towards arrival. Now I want you to just focus carefully on the distant cloud movement outside the aeroplane, the window beside you. Continue following that slow movement of lights far below the aircraft through gaps in the clouds beneath the night sky. Notice that spacing between the overhead lights stretching softly through the darkened aisle ahead, and somewhere beyond the darkness, the destination continues waiting ahead of the aircraft. The airplane moves steadily through the night, forward and forward, and your attention settles deeper into the journey that surrounds you. Continue following the cloud movement outside the window beside you. The clouds are going to drift slowly beneath the aircraft, then suddenly appear completely motionless for several moments, while the aeroplane continues travelling steady forward through the sky. Just think about that. And then a passenger is going to shift quietly several rows ahead, but the movement reaches your awareness before the sound arrives through the cabin. How come? The reflection in the aeroplane window subtly changes posture before your body physically moves inside the seat. Then the overhead seatbelt illuminates silently above the aisle, while the aircraft itself remains completely smooth, no turbulence. The cabin lights might flicker softly. One section of cloud movement drifts steadily beneath the aircraft. The next section remains completely still, and the movement returns again across the night sky. The aircraft around you remains calm, warm, artificial and predictable. Yet the sequence between the movements, the timings, the sounds and the reflections around you no longer fully align. You're going to immerse yourself in the timing, the sensory timing. Just continue following the distant lights appearing far below the clouds beneath the aircraft. Imagine where they are. The warm cabin air settles heavy against your skin, whilst the smell of coffee and recycled atmosphere deepens throughout the aircraft. You're going to hear fragments of earlier cabin movements continually softly beneath the newer environmental sounds unfolding around you. It's going to be a change. The reflections across the aeroplane window stretch longer against the darkness outside. The cloud movements drift slowly beneath the aircraft, then pause for several moments, yet the aeroplane continues moving steadily towards the destination ahead. That space in between movements, that disparity, breathing, reflection, sound, environmental rhythms begin layering together over and over and over now. Just keep your attention on the distant horizon unfolding beneath the aeroplane window beside you. The overhead ventilation is going to lower softly through the cabin, then disappear completely for several moments, yet cool air continues moving gently across your skin. How? The reflection beside you subtly shifts again before your posture physically changes inside the seat. The cloud layer outside suddenly appears closer to the aircraft before the aeroplane physically lowers through the sky. For several moments, the entire cabin narrows into darkness, breathing, movement, distance, and environmental timings alone. Then that sequence changes again. A soft movement passes through the cabin beside you, but the passengers' aisles remain completely empty. The clouds outside briefly begin moving backwards through the sky while the aircraft itself continues steadily forward towards the destination ahead. I want you to just continue following the distance movements unfolding beneath the aircraft window beside you. Cloud movements drift slowly beneath the aeroplane, then pause again completely while the aircraft continues steadily through the sky. Your posture adjusts softly against the seat before reason fully forms in your mind. The reflection across the dark window subtly shifts position, then settle, then shift. Pause for a moment, notice how different the environment feels around you. The aeroplane no longer feels like something you're simply sitting inside. The journey itself feels closer around you. Movement, easy to recognize. That time, shorter. The destination ahead feels steadily closer, even though you're going through dark clouds. Keep watching reflections moving softly across the aeroplane window beside you. Cloud movement outside the window slows almost completely while the aeroplane continues travelling along steadily through the sky. The reflection in the dark window suddenly moves again before your posture physically changes inside the seat. Perhaps a soft announcement echoes beneath the cabin. Silence returns again, even though no overhead speakers activated in the aisle. The clouds outside briefly reverse directions again, watch them dart backwards for several moments. Yet the aircraft itself continues moving steadily towards the destination ahead. You continue following the environment, movement surrounding without fully replaying every sequence internally. And just as the environment briefly begins to feel stable again, the sequencing throughout the aircraft changes faster than consciously predicting, comfortably follows. The seatbelt sign illuminates silently above the aisle several moments before turbulence reaches. You've moved forward. Cloud movement outside the window suddenly reverses direction again for several moments. The aircraft continues forward. The reflection in the airplane window turns towards you. Your physical body moves inside the seat. Then a soft announcement echoes briefly through the cabin, even though the overhead speakers remain silent again. One section of cloud movement slows, the next drifts across the darkness, then both suddenly return at the same steady movement. Yet the cabin around you is stable. Yet your sequence isn't. Continue following the distance horizon, the aeroplane window beside you. Movement throughout the window becomes easier to recognize now. You shift your alignment from fear to courage. Pressure shifts arrive, changing. Your posture subtly adjusts the balance along the environment. Movements unfold throughout the aircraft around you. The internal conscious voice is going to become quieter. Notice the pause, and your awareness feels less trapped internally. Now in that pause, you're going to externalize your mind like daydreaming and find it floating down the aisle of that cabin. And any thoughts, feelings are just going to become instinctive, as any emotional connections have now switched off. Now allow the environment through the aircraft cabin to gradually reconnect, to become familiar. The overlapping fragments of movement, reflections, breathing are going to become normalized. The sound of ventilation, the destination ahead continues to draw closer and closer, and that internal voice slowly becomes unnoticeable. Yet the subtle awareness of movement, timings, distance and rhythm carry on as you find yourself disconnected from your emotional fear. When you're ready, look at any object like a cup, see the cup, feel the cup, breathe the cup, and you're going to return consciously to where you were. Your eyes have remained open throughout.